So later, when you come to this website, like you see there's a menu button called videos. Also, there's the same thing down here called videos. If you click that, and you will be able to find all the videos here. I already put some helpful videos for tutorial videos online. You can take a look at that. All of them are like this is some guys talk about how to code in HTML. And this is actually, it's not a video, it's a playlist. So you can, if you click this one here, it actually has a lot of videos I found online, which is very helpful.
Oh, okay. Go.
And here is something else. And later you're gonna see there's more videos coming out. And you're gonna be able to see it. Also, you can also to click the video to go to the video chat, to go to the YouTube channel to directly check my channels. Like this is their channel, but later I will put mine there, and you can be able to follow it if you want. Right. So all the class videos are going to be posted here. And yeah, as I said, later when we start coding, you will be able to see all the slides over here. The slides will be always here. Like when we start coding, we will start talking about HTML, and the slides is just here. You will be able to see it, and to feel free to print it out or something. Right? Those are the slides we're gonna use.
Cool.
That's PowerPoint, right?
Yeah, it's PowerPoint. It's Google Slides actually. So yeah, later when we have assignments, the assignment's going to be here. You're gonna see the description of assignments, the due date, and the due date and the way you submit it. Yeah, and Slack is over there. If you want to send me a message, you can also use this one. Send me a message if you want. It's gonna shoot me an email. Yeah, let's go. Let's start to working on Git. So if you go to curriculum.
Because when I saw the helpful videos, it also showed the sublines.
That is just the start of the video. He's going to using Sublime to code, but you are going to be using something more powerful.
Yes.
So the Visual Studio Code, but it's the same thing. It's just an editor. It just have different layout, different color, but other things. The code itself is the same. Right?
So question, the contact us, that sends it straight to you?
Yeah, send straight to me. Let's go back to the curriculum. Alright, so today's topic is how to use Git and GitHub. Some of you already finished the lesson one, so you can keep going, ignore me here. And we are going to just start from the beginning to the end of this lesson, just lesson one. And lesson two is problem set. I will leave this to you, and we're going to go over this tomorrow. Same thing for lesson 3 and lesson 4, right? So lesson 1 is basically introduce why are we using Git and what can Git do in software development. It can help us control the version of the code, like the first version, the second version, third version, allows you to compare the difference, what you did today, what you did yesterday, and it allows you to restore your files to a previous version, or if something missed out, right? So that's basically everything like Git can do. So it just makes your life easier. It won't be something so difficult to use, because that's just some tools trying to help you to solve the problem, right? Let's start some introduction about version control. Let me increase volume some. Make it bigger.
Yeah, so version control is sort of like having a giant button for your customer.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. That was me. Like I was trying to go through what he's talking about.
I'm Carol, I'm the instructor for the course. And I'm Sarah, the other instructor. In this course, we'll cover the concept of version control and why you might want to use it. Yeah, so version control is sort of like having a giant undo button for your project. You mean like this one? Yeah, exactly. It makes it easy to save versions of your files at different points in time. You can also restore previous versions and compare different versions. Yeah, it also makes it a lot easier to collaborate with other people. No more sending huge zip files from the project back and forth. Now, learning to use version control is a little bit like learning to type. It's hard at first, but once you can do it, it makes you a lot more efficient. You might feel like learning a whole new system to keep track of versions of your files is a lot of work and maybe not worth it. Or that if you're hardcore enough, you don't need version control. But if you look at successful software companies like Google and Facebook, you'll find that they all use version control internally. What about you, Carolyn? Well, when I first started using version control, I basically only used it when I needed to. But now I like to use it for all of my projects. It's kind of addictive. Cool. Let's find out why.
Right, so you will see like it's just like the undo button, like you can undo anything you did, like no matter who in your team did something stupid, you will be able to undo it, to restore it to the previous version. This is help you to manage the whole project. And yeah, you will feel like when you start doing that, you will feel like it's kind of annoying. It's like an extra step you have to do when you finish today's work. You have to commit stuff and leave a message for yourself. But like sometime when you come back to your project, you will thank yourself. Like say, okay, thank myself I did this. Otherwise, I forget what I did. Right, that's a course overview again. Oops, why is not allows me to? Okay, this font is so big. I'm not sure how can I make it smaller.
You'll learn to use Git, which is a version control system, and GitHub, a code sharing and collaboration platform. You'll need to use a Unix-style command line, so if you haven't used...
Oops, sorry, I just clicked the wrong one. I mean to close it. I think it's this button.
In this course, you'll learn to use Git, which is a version control system, and GitHub, a code sharing and collaboration platform.
I cannot make it bigger.
You'll need to use a Unix-style command line, so if you haven't used that before, then check out one of the tutorials in the instructor's notes. You'll also be looking at some code in this course, so experience reading and writing code will be useful, but it doesn't matter which particular programming languages you know.
To give you a better sense of what you'll learn if you stick with us through this course, here's the rough breakdown. We'll have 3 lessons. In this first lesson, we'll focus on how version control can be useful and what different forms it might take. You'll also install Git and start using it to explore some existing code. Then, in lesson 2, you'll learn more about Git and start using it on your own. Finally, in lesson 3, you'll get some practice sharing code and collaborating with others using GitHub.
Right, just some overview. Let's start. So before we start to talk about version control, he's trying to in this video he's trying to introduce us like when you're trying to compare two files. Well, he's to compare some coding, but actually just whatever the file is, like maybe 2 doc files, maybe 2 PDF. We just want to compare 2 files, and without any like a command, we'll have to view line by line, character by character, to looking for the difference in words, looking for something maybe we did wrong. And then in next video, he's trying to introduce us one shell command to allow us to simply compare 2 files, looking for differences. Right? Let's start it.
Hey, I'm here with Larry.
Hold on, I'm just something wrong with my browser. It doesn't allow me to maximize the screen, maximize the video that is playing.
Hey, I'm here with Larry, and he's been having a problem with a web page he's been working on. I think this is a great opportunity to both help Larry out with this problem and show you what version control can be useful for.
Yeah, so I'm looking at our website, and it looks a lot different than it did before. There used to be a banner at the top, and like the design looked a lot better before.
So what did it look like before?
I have a version savings tab.
Oh, yeah, I see. It looks like you changed the description.
Yeah, I filled it.
Cool. Did you change anything else?
I think I might have, but I'm not sure.
Do you still have the HTML for this version?
Yeah, I do.
Cool, so you could compare the two and see what changed.
Okay, let's try it.
Now, I want you to find the differences between the 2 versions of this HTML. Go ahead and find the ones that have changed.
So, let me close the caption here. So basically, there are 2 files. Most of the files, like you don't even understand what they mean, but they just simply looking for a difference. And there are some differences in some lines. Like for example, here you see there's some description here, and here's this. They fill in the descriptions. That's the difference. Oops. Edit. Yeah. So that is one difference. And if you looking at it very carefully, there's another difference. Here it says style-1, and here it says style-exclamation point. That is another difference. Right, that is just the whole video. What about?
Separated by commas.
Right, just submit answers and go to the next one. So there's 2 differences. One is the style, another one is just the description here. send me the answers. And he's going to
So other than the description, it looks like you changed style 1 to style exclamation point.
Oh, yeah, I did do that. That wasn't intentional. I was going to change my style sheet, but then at the last minute I decided not to. I think I made a mistake.
Yeah, sounds like a typo. So what happens if you fix that?
Let's try it. Cool, it worked.
Great.
You know, it's kind of annoying doing it manually. Is there any way to get the computer to help me?
Yeah, there are some built-in tools that can automatically compare files. I'll go over how to use these in a minute.
Good thing I saved the old one then.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. In a bigger project, having an old version saved can mean that you spend a few minutes finding your mistake instead of hours.
Yeah, as your project growing up, like it's starting from like maybe only a few lines of code, and then getting few files, and getting hundreds of files, hundreds of lines, thousands of files, thousands of lines of code, it's going to be really harder for you to find where did I made a mistake. And to comparing the versions, you can compare, okay, last version, everything is working, this version, something is wrong. I just say what I did changes. And I can keep looking for those, like what I added, what I removed, is anything wrong with it? It's going to be easier for you to find those errors. Right, so here is introducing a command shell, a shell command to allow us computers to help us looking for the difference between two different files. Actually, the same file, but different versions.
You just found the differences between these two files by hand, and it worked alright, but it probably seemed pretty tedious, and the files were also small. What if you had files with hundreds or even thousands of lines? Let's take a look at what we could do in that case. Now let's take a look at a program that requires a bit more code. This is a game called Asteroids, and I know this text is a little hard to read, but it says, press space to start. Some of you may recognize that this is a classic arcade game that has been ported so you can play it in the browser. You press the left and right arrow keys to turn the ship, up to fire the engine, and space to shoot. Props to Doug McInnes for creating this game. If you want to play it yourself, there's a link to it on Doug's website in the instructor notes. But right now, we're going to be focusing on finding a bug in its code. The code for this game is in JavaScript, but don't worry, you won't need to know JavaScript to complete the exercise. I thought using space to fire the engine might be more intuitive for me, so I changed the controls for the game to use space instead of up arrow. Then I needed a different way to shoot, so I decided to use enter instead of space for that. But when I tried the game out, the engines didn't work at all anymore. I couldn't move. I think I made a typo, but I'm not sure where. Most of the code for this game, including the code that maps keys to actions, is in a file called game.js. Now this file contains over 1,000 lines. It would be way too time-consuming to go through this entire file comparing the new version to the old version. Fortunately, there are a bunch of tools that can automatically find differences between files. If you're using Windows, you have a tool in the command prompt called FC, which stands for File Compare. If you're using Mac or Linux, then FC is a different, unrelated command, but you have a built-in tool called diff you can use, which stands for difference. I'll demonstrate using these tools to compare the HTML you just compared manually in the previous exercise. Then I'll ask you to go through the same process to find the differences in game.js. On Windows, I'll open the command prompt first. By the way, if you'd prefer to use git bash to complete this exercise, then you can follow the instructions for the Mac and Linux students that are coming in a minute. But for now, I'm going to show how to complete the exercise in the command prompt. So first I'll need to change to the directory that has my files in it. So I'll type cd downloads, since I downloaded my files to the downloads folder. Now I'll enter the command fc favoriteapp.old.html, favoriteapp.html. So to the fc or file compare program, I pass two files, the first one that I want to compare and the second. Now when I hit enter, I can see that I'm comparing the files favoriteapp.old.html and favoriteapp.html. So each of these two sections are showing different parts of the file. So here you can see that favoriteapp.html had style1.css, and favoriteapp.html had style!.css. Then, down here you can see the next section that changed, which was the description. Some description here changed to the fun fact. Did you know that sunflowers were used to remove toxins from a pond after the Chernobyl disaster? Sections that didn't change aren't shown, since we're only trying to focus on the differences here. On Mac or Linux, I'll open the terminal, navigate to where the files are, then enter the command diff-u favoriteapp.old.html, favoriteapp.html. The -u option stands for Unified Diff Format, and it will make the output a little easier to read. Now I'll go ahead and hit enter. The output format here is a little bit different than for FC. I'll scroll back up. And first you can see that there were some lines at the top. And you don't really need to worry about these lines. They're just showing you that you're comparing favorite app old.html to favorite app.html. Lines with no plus or minus sign next to them like these haven't changed. That is, they existed in both the old version of the file and the new version. Lines with a minus sign were removed. That is, they existed in the old version but not the new version. And lines with a plus sign were added, so vice versa. Now I'll scroll back down, and here's the style sheet change that you found earlier, and here's the description change. Now go ahead and download the files gameold.js and gamenew.js from the downloadables section, and compare them using either FC or GIt. Your files will probably be downloaded to the downloads folder, so you can navigate there using CD downloads, just like I did. What word contains a typo in the new version of game.js, but not in the old version? Once you've found the word, enter it in this box. Use the correct spelling for the word.
Alright, so let's firstly download the two files. If you scroll down a little bit, there are two files. One is game.old.js, another one is gamenew.js. It's two files in here. So to download them, you can either use a curl or just using your mouse to right click to download it, or you can open it in another tab and right click it. There is an option called Save As. You can just save it and choose any place you want to save it. For example, I'm going to save it just directly on the desktop. Just choose desktop, save it. Oops, I already have it. It's okay, just replace it. And that is game old. I also want to download the game new.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I right clicked on.
So if you are using Chrome, what you're gonna do is just click it, open it, and get into the file. Right click the mouse. There's an option called Save As. You're gonna click that one, and there's a window come up. Just choosing where to save it. I'm gonna save it on the desktop, and click Save. And if you are using the Microsoft Edge, it's going to be a little bit different. So if you're using Microsoft Edge, let's open my Edge. I never use it actually. Edge. So if you're using Edge, what you're going to do is, let me copy this. You may ask me to log in again. Yeah, it's gonna ask me to log in again. Let's log in with Google.
What's now this is showing up another way. This is if you're doing what?
This is if you are using another browser. If you're using Edge, Internet, yeah, or Edge. Like Chrome is actually easier, but some people prefer to use this one.
Because I'm using Internet Explorer.
I don't like it.
Yeah, he said the only time it does it is
it's not working.
do that with Google Chrome. It's an Explorer. You gotta highlight the
Yeah, but I just opened it.
in what Chrome. Because you won't be able to do it in Internet Explorer. You gotta go either to do it in Chrome or do it the way he's doing it right now. Yeah, on Edge. On Edge, he's showing us now how to do it on Edge.
Give it a second.
So,
I got this on my laptop. Let's see if I can use it.
what
Might
is
want to
usually
fix this.
maybe
Move to old.
1 second.
typical,
You just found the differences between these two files.
So this is I just opened the same website in the Edge, and if in your Edge, if you open the same file, game old or the game new, if you open the file, and it's gonna open the file for you, but you will not be, if you right click here, there won't be an option called Save As. You cannot find it. There's not such option. So what you're gonna do, this one is you do not have to open it. What you're gonna do is, hold on, you just go here, like looking for the game mode, just right click it. There's an option called save target as. And then you were just doing the same thing. Like a window come up, as choosing desktop, and save it. Replace it. Yeah. And same thing for game new. Alright. So that's how you do it with Edge. You have a question?
What is typically the browser that we should be using?
I would suggest you using Chrome. That is much better than any other browsers right now, and it's more friendly for developers. You will see like there's some developing tools we're gonna using from the Chrome, and there were some news come from the Microsoft, like they already give up the Edge browser. They won't develop it anymore. They're going to switch over to the browser, to the Chrome.
So
Yeah.
anyway, because it's much faster.
Yeah, they just feel like it's not. They cannot beat in Chrome. I just gonna switch over to the core of the Chrome browsers. Browser that's not made by one person. If you go to the GitHub, search for Chrome, you can see how many people are developing that one.
But if I was trying to save a
By
file
thousands.
by the command or
Probably at least a couple hundred people.
Yeah, couple hundred or couple thousands, I'm not sure, but if you we can take a look. Let's go here to check it, right? This Chrome is open source, okay, everyone can contribute to it. GitHub. Let's search for Chrome. Let's see how many people are working on Chrome right now. This is Chrome. Let's see if like even in this Chrome, it still have like more than one topics. Like there's a lot of projects related to Chrome. Like there's some support Chrome Web Lab, Chrome Dev Editor, or Chrome EOS AppKit. Because Chrome, like you have Chrome for Windows, Chrome for Mac, Chrome for Android, Chrome for iOS, or Chrome for whatever it is. So okay, Chrome has a lot of functions. It has like a bookmarker, it has a page view, it has setting, it has login, it has Gmail, it has everything. So like they have different projects people are working on. For example, there is something called Chrome View. There are 1,600 people are started, and they follow it. If there are any updates, let's take a look at that. So it's a small one. There's not much people are doing that. It's only one contributor. That is a small one, I believe. So let's see if there's some bigger ones.
See the Gmail. Check Gmail.
Do they have a Chrome video?
Let's see. I'm not sure. Let's just check the first one. That's Chrome App Samples. I'm not sure what is that.
Yeah.
The 81 contributors and 1,400 commits. Each commit they change something. They change it like 1,000 times.
And that's since it came out, or what?
Since this project is published to the GitHub. Yeah, let's say when they started. So all the commits changes are here. You'll be able to see it. And see like this is the latest changes, and the oldest of one is going to be like many pages, like older. Maybe you start from like 2003 or 2005, something like that. Yep. Like, all the changes going to be able to see it. You'll be able to see it here. And see there are still 42 issues. They're still trying to solve it. And once it's like basically impossible to finish all the issues. Once you finish some issue, other things gonna work out. You're gonna keep fixing it. This is why you need a team to keep an eye on it and to keep maintaining it. Make sure like everything is up to date. It's actually make sure there's no some big issues. Make sure it is still working. Maybe there's some tiny typos there, but we can fix them in some time in the future.
2 questions. Who approves the changes? Like if so many collaborators work on it, who?
So there's a lot of collaborators, but this project only have one owners. Yeah. Once you contribute something, and you go into
Let's get approved.
Yeah, you're going to send your request to the owner. Say I made some changes. Can you check it? And after the owner checked it, it's going to merge your changes with the main one, and then your change is gonna come to life. Everyone will be able to see it.
And the other question is, do you have a Chrome video as opposed to like just a regular Chrome, or is there a Chrome video? Just for video?
I'm not sure there's a Chrome video. I think Google is just using YouTube because they own YouTube, right? Google.
Okay.
So, yeah. Right, so yeah, we talked too fast. So we just downloaded 2 files, game old and game new, and right now let's try to compare them. So as a video mentioned, we will be able to compare the two files. Whoops. We will be able to compare the two files with FC or diff. If you're using the Mac system, we're going to use diff. If you're using the Windows, we're going to use FC. Also, we are using the Windows devices, but we are using the Git bash. Git bash is not the default Windows terminal. It is coming from the actually some Mac system. Well, so instead of using FC, we're going to using diff in this case. All right, let's try it. Let's go to the desktop. This is where the two files I downloaded. Let's close something. Since I'm recording the video, so it's kind of the computer is getting slow. So I have a game old and a game new here, and let's compare them. We're gonna right click, git bash here. Alright. Actually, hold on a second. Let's actually move to another folder. I don't want to make it on desktop. Too many things here. Let's create a new folder. Let's do this assignment inside it. New folder. Let's call it Git and GitHub. I just want to move things inside it. Drag them into it. Let's compare them inside it. All right. So there's only two files inside here. Make it more cleaner. Make it. So, right. So I just opened the Git bash here. Let's make it bigger. If I do ls, it should supposed to tell me what I have inside this folder. So I have game new and game old. Let's start to compare them. So the command mentioned in the video, which is diff-u game new game _new.js and game _old.js. Right, that is command to compare them. Let's hit enter. The font is too big, so it's a little bit hard to read, but let's scroll to the top. So yeah, that is the top of this command. I can enter, and he gives us some output. So the two files, one is game new, another one is game old, right? So oops, how do I screw up? Two fingers, yeah. So those are some things I can use and some things you created. Backup again? Yeah, diff-u game new.js and game old. Or you can.
But it's still good to just do it over again. That way it sets in your brain. I did this too. I'm gonna just do it again. That way you don't forget the code that you use to do this. I hate that.
I don't want to lose the part that I'm at, so I know when we get to it, I can start writing notes. I wrote notes on this.
I did all this too already. I'm waiting so I can get this thing. What you saying?
Before we ask you the question, you said I didn't have to put the dash U. And what came up was
Well, you can try to enter it with dash U and without dash U. You can see the difference.
Yeah, I see the difference.
So it's going to be, instead of using minus and plus, it's going to be using arrows, like a left arrow and a right arrow. So with a dash U, you may just make it a little bit more readable, but actually no big difference.
Okay. So you see that dash 4, 9 and plus 4, 9. Could you use either of those to know how many lines are changed?
Yes. So once you enter the information here, it's going to say it's two files. One is game new, one is game old, and the third line here is going to talk about how many lines of changes. Like 4 lines, -4, and +4. You removed 4 lines and you added 4 lines. Like there's 4 lines difference inside the two files. Right, here's -4 and +4.
And what's the 9?
Actually don't know. I just don't know. Just to be honest, I don't know about it. I think it means there are some. I was thinking maybe 9 characters, but I don't think so. I don't know what is that. I can check it out, but it's not that important actually. Yeah, I can check it out. They should know what is that, but I actually don't know. But I know the first one means how many lines you deleted and how many lines you added.
Okay.
You deleted and added.
We deleted 4 lines, we added 4 lines.
And then if you want to see about the colors, the right and the
If you want to see it by colors, I think you need to set up the Git with some color inside it. Yeah, it is a color setting to set it like showing things in different colors.
The FC method works in the Git bash too.
It works for some computers, some doesn't work for some computers. I'm not sure why. Yeah, I think it's some setting when you try to install the Git. Yeah, when you install it, yeah, if you install it, I think it's gonna ask you, do you want to keep both Mac version command and Windows command? If you click yes, it's gonna SAF will be also working in Linux. Yeah. If you did check that, maybe it doesn't work. Yeah. But we're just gonna like the Linux version, the diff, that is more common.
Yeah, you have to use diff.
It's not like you have to, but if you try the SA it's not working, just try diff.
Okay.
Yeah. Both of them work.
So the diff method is more common.
Yeah, like the Linux method, because like when we need to use in command, that means there is no GUI, there's no graphic user design. Like there's no icons. There's no mouse you can use. There's no icons you can see. There's the only thing you can see is a command window. So those machines always usually going to be the Linux machine. Those machines are using the Mac method. They're not using the Windows method. Because both Mac, both Mac and Linux, they are based on the same style of the system. So this is more common. We use Windows 1. We do not have to use the command line, so we just do not. That's not that popular. Alright. So let's compare the changes. So in here, they're just going to point out all the files like the video set, and if there's no plus or minus before the line, that means those two files share the same code. If there's any difference, there's going to be a plus or minus before that line. The minus means in one file they'll have enter, and another file doesn't have it. The plus is the same thing. Like one file has actual plus up, another file doesn't have it. So let's looking for the difference between two files, and this, as I mentioned, there is a typo. Typo means there's misspelled word. The word misspelled, so it's looking for that. So enter, then it looks correct, up looks correct, and keep going. Here is another minus. It says if you don't have to understand what it means, but it's looking for the misspelled stuff. So this here says if key underscore status and space here is a typo, right? SPACR should be supposed to be E. I think some fat finger. Right? Here is a key status up. There's nothing wrong here. And I think here are some other changes. Enter space looks correct. And keep going. Here are some changes. Key status space equal to false. Key space status equal to false. I don't see any typo. So I think the typo is just only one. It's just the space in here, right? The space in here. So the answers for the question, like which word is a typo, which is going to be the space, right? Just enter the space as answer for the question. So yeah, so enter space here and submit the answer. And it's going to be the answer. And they're going to introduce.
On Windows, I'll open the command prompt and cd to the downloads folder. And this time I want to use FC to compare gameold.js to gamenew.js. So I'll scroll back up to the top, and I can see that I'm comparing the files gameold.js and gamenew.js. And there's a few different changes here, so I'll have to look through for a little bit. But if I scroll down, here's the typo. Space R. That's not right. On Mac or Linux, the process is very similar. I'll open the terminal, cd to the downloads folder, then run the command diff-u gameold.js gamenew.js. The diff is in a slightly different format than when I ran this on Windows, but the content is the same. If I scroll back up, here's the typo. I'll go ahead and open the game.js file, search for space R, and here it is. I'll change it back to space now. Now I'll go ahead and try out the new controls. I can move now, but it's harder to play the game since I only have two hands, because enter is a bit far from the arrow keys. I think I'll change the controls back. Now I'm going to hand you over to Sarah to reflect on what you just accomplished.
Alright, so if you wish, you can play the game actually here. They provide links here, you can play that game.
So, Professor?
Yeah.
So, but that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to do Control F so I could just find the word instead of going up and down. But it wouldn't allow me to do that in here.
We are.
She just did that.
Yeah. So he's using some editors to do that. Like he uses some editors to open the file, so you will be able to search the keyword in the editor. So we're talking about we're going to be using Visual Studio, right? We're going to be using Visual Studio code to open that file, so we can search that word inside it. Let's try it. So actually you don't have to do it right now because we haven't learned how to coding right now. Yeah. So let's try it. So we're gonna right-click the file, give new, open with code. And it's gonna open the file within this editor. Editor is basically just some software allows you to edit the file. And this is a code we have. Actually, you can increase the font. Let me see. Increase the font is going to be in the setting. Just change the font size. Make it 28. Make it bigger. Oops. Yeah, it's bigger. So let's search for the space R. Right, it's looking for that. So Control F. It's gonna be, see there is a window come up on the right corner. Maybe not easy to see, but it says fine. So let's type SPACR, and we found it. It's right here. Right, this is just where you search the word inside. We're gonna teach you more about like how to coding in the future. Don't worry about that. Yeah. So you'll be able to just change it back and save your file, and you just fix the error. Right. All right. So let's keep going.
We just saw with Caroline that looking at the differences between two files is a little bit annoying to do manually, and that there are tools that make it easy to do automatically. Think for a bit about how this could help with the process of producing good code. Throughout the course, we'll ask you to take a minute to think about things and write down your thoughts about material we've just covered. I know it can be tempting to say, oh, I don't need to do this, or I'll just wait to see what you guys have to say about it. But doing these exercises will really help cement the concepts as we go. Seriously, there's research on this. Check the instructor notes for details. Also, later in the course, we'll be getting practice using version control by saving different versions of these files. Since this course isn't about writing code, this will be one of the primary sources of practice you'll get, so be sure to actually write something down each time you see one of these prompts, so that you have some content to work with. Don't worry about pausing this video while you get things set up, or to see the reflection prompt. You'll see some directions after this video ends. We'll ask you to create a separate file for each lesson's reflections. You'll also want to make sure to use a simple text editor like Sublime, Notepad++, Emacs, or Vim, and not a rich text editor like Microsoft Word or OpenOffice. And use plaintext.txt files so that you can easily look at their content on the command line. Please do take the time to do this right now.
So in here, he basically asks you to summarize what you just learned. It's because, as I said, this is not going to for this whole course. It's not going to be some coding course. They're not trying to teach you how to code. They're just trying to teach you to use why are we using the Git. So you're gonna think about why are we using it, and trying to they provide some questions here. Try to think about the answers for those questions. So how did viewing a diff between two versions of files help you see the bug that was introduced? That's not mine. So I think it's just help you to find like what you just changed from the previous working version and this broken version, and easily finding comparing the difference, easily find which if there are any typo or something you mistakenly put it there. That's going to be the reason why you're using it. I may summarize everything into some PowerPoint, some slides, and share it with you guys later. Right? I didn't do that before. I think that's going to be a good idea. So you can, sometime you need it, you can come back to check it. Alright, that's just going to be the first question, and let's keep going.
I'm sorry.
Yeah?
I thought I had written down before we talked. I didn't apparently. How did you get into that reflection page?
Reflect page? I just click the link. That's on the module 6.
Oh, here.
There is here, click that. That's just going to bring you to this window,
Okay.
questions.
Yeah.
And what they want you to do is download this file and type something by yourself and save that in your computer. That's just something you do not have to do. That just help you to learning. It's not something technical. Just some learning method for you. Right. So let's come to next one. Talk about how does the versions come from? Like where do the versions come from? I don't know what they're gonna talk about here. I'll actually forget it.
Examples of comparing different versions against one another. We just conveniently had those old working versions sitting around. In that case, we manually saved off old versions under different file names. I personally used to do this all the time with school essays, math papers in LaTeX, and so on. This is one very primitive form of version control. How else might you get old versions of your files? It's likely that you've actually interacted with some systems that do some form of version control for you. Have you ever used Dropbox? Dropbox actually periodically saves versions of your files. After you've edited a file, you can right-click and choose View Previous Versions, and then in the browser, you can check some of the old versions. Note that by default, Dropbox only saves these versions for 30 days. Do you use Google Docs? There's a little link up at the top that says, All changes saved in the Drive. If you click on that, you get a side panel of all the old revisions made by anyone who's ever worked on the doc, and you can restore it at any point in time. What about Wikipedia? If you go to any Wikipedia article, say maybe the one on version control, you'll see a View History tab that you can click on to see all the old versions. You can click through to see an entire old version, or you can compare any two versions against one another. Let's take some time now for another reflection.
Right, so just introduce like some other softwares that has a version control, and later he will comparing Git with those softwares. Why are we using Git? Why don't we just using Dropbox? Why don't we just using Google Docs? He's going to talk about that. Yeah, here we go.
If you were to design a version control system specifically for code, what would it look like? In the rest of this lesson, we'll be discussing many ways version control systems can be different and what a programmer would want in each case. Wikipedia and Google Docs are clearly not designed for writing code. They require you to use their special-purpose editors that don't have any features that programmers tend to want in an editor, like syntax highlighting and parenthesis matching.
So what they mean here is like for Google Docs and Wikipedia, you have to using these two software. You have to using their editor. Like if you try to make a Google Doc, you have to edit it within Chrome, within their Google documents, right? You have to write things inside it. But it's not because that's not designed for coding. It's designed for writing some AC or something like that. So it will be harder for you to write code. Same thing for the Wikipedia, and no one's gonna code with Wikipedia, right? So later when we are going to using some professional editors like called Visual Code or someone using Sublime. Those editors. If I try to open some code with that software, you will see like they're going to provide me some highlights. Let me show you. So let's see. The Gimnio, that is code, right? If I open this one with Visual Code, you see like the color of the words actually are different. See like the different colors.
Yeah.
Like that is a way help you to make your code more readable for the developer. And if you doing this thing in some notepad, everything is the same color. It's gonna be harder to read it. That is one feature. And also it helps you to complete the words. For example, say here, if I just type key, key, you see like there's many suggestions for me. Do you want to type key code, key down, key up, key codes? This is something you typed before. Do you want to type that? Hit me. And it's gonna help you to complete that. I think it's not working for that screen. Like if I hit enter, it's gonna help me to finish the unfinished sentence, just like the shell command. This is some reasons why we're using the editor instead of using Notepad. Yeah, just give you make it colorful, more readable, give you some hints. If there's some crazy typos there, they're actually going to have some read underlines. You see that here. Let me see.
If you press enter, it's going to create number 19, or does, and it pushes everything back.
Yes. So for example, yeah. So it also can help you to make your code more readable. So for example, here, I just did something. So there is a curly brace start from here to here, right? Start from here to here. If I delete the closing one, it's gonna notice it. It's gonna find, okay, you're missing something here. Let's say there's some read outline here. That means this one comes from here to here seems like not incorrect. Not correct. It's not correct. Something is missing between them. Do you want to check it? Like it's because of I missing something here. This sentence becoming incorrect. This sentence becoming incorrect too. So you will be able to easily find some typos you made. I'm not sure you can see that, but there's a red underline under the words.
Here's a little squiggly line.
Yeah, and also it helps you to organize your file. For example, so
what is that you just used? Like on number 17.
Number 17.
It's
Just
on a parentheses. It's sort of
yeah, curly braces, parentheses, whatever you want to call
is
it.
that common with closing out codes? So
We'll learn it.
learn
We'll
that
learn
later?
it. Yeah, learn it. I learn it. Yeah.
Too fast.
Yeah, it's just trying to give some examples. So for example, if I try to create something, like I can say number is equal, and open the curly brace. See, I opened one.
Yeah.
It's gonna close it for me. And if I hit enter, it's going to move my mouse here. I will be able to add something inside it. Like I can say, like I can type the same thing. 13. I type the same thing. Enter. It closed quotation marks for me. I didn't close it. And if I put a comment, hit enter, see, it's move my mouse directly on the same line, same line with the 13. Doesn't move it to here. So help you typing. That is why we're using this editor.
Yeah, because it's just better. It's powerful, like I said.
This is a very useful code. Yeah, we're gonna learn it in the future. Don't worry about that. Yeah, just some people interested in that. So, right. So let's keep going. So that's the reason why we do not want to use in Google Doc and Wikipedia, because they do not allow us to use any editor we prefer. Right. Let's keep going.
Using Dropbox is a more plausible alternative here, since you can use any editor you want, and the files are saved on your computer as well as in the cloud. Similarly, when you save copies manually, you can edit with whatever program you prefer. Wikipedia also doesn't actually save files on your computer, which would make it hard to run your code. Google Drive does let you save your Google Docs files on your own computer, but they're in a special format that only works with their special purpose editor, and you can't access the history offline. Dropbox is similar. Again, you can edit your files on your own computer, but you can only see the history online. Manual saving is the only option here that you can use offline. Of course, syntax highlighting.
So, as I mentioned, there's also something about like if you want to edit your files like maybe on an airplane, maybe somewhere doesn't have a Wi-Fi, and if you're using Wikipedia, of course you cannot access it. If you're using Google Doc, yeah, you can download the files. You can download the files to your computer.
It's gonna be like
But
Google.txt.
you can only see the file you downloaded. You will not be able to see the history.
Right.
You cannot check any back versions. So that's also the reason you do not want to use in Google Docs. And also for Dropbox, you can view the current version, but to view the back history, you have to go online. And the only option here is manually saving. That's gonna be annoying. And save like one file can have 1 version, 2 version, 3 version, 4 version. That's gonna be annoying. Yeah. So let's keep going.
Offline access to history aren't the only areas where programmers would want different features in their version control. The next feature I want to consider is whether users should manually choose when to save, or whether the system should save versions automatically. Let's think about which option would be better for code. As a programmer, when would you want to have versions of your code saved? Consider a few different use case scenarios when you're coming up with your answer. One option would be at regular intervals, maybe every hour, or maybe whenever there's a big enough change, maybe 50 lines or so, or maybe when there's a long pause in editing, or lastly, when you choose to save a version.
So it's basically asking you, like in this lecture, it's asking you like if you are trying to create a version control system, what are you gonna consider about? So as a programmer, as a version control system for programmer, you're gonna considering which version does programmers want to save. Like if coding is not like running essays, you do not want to save every 30 minutes or every 1 hour. You will only want to save for the versions that are working. Okay, right now it's working, everything is working, I will save it. And then once I add in a new feature, I will save it. Once I add another new feature, I will save it. There's no time, there's no timestamp for that. And who knows how long it takes me to implement the next feature, right? So it won't be the first one. It won't be some regular intervals. And same thing, it won't be a large enough changes to make, like 50 lines. Like you're not sure like how much lines you need to implement one feature. You're not sure how much lines you need to make it working again. So it won't be the same. The third one, wherever there is a large purse in editing. So this is a long purse in editing. This is how Google Docs used to save your files. Like if you stop typing and for about for a few minutes, it's going to save the changes. But this is not what we want for programming. If you stop programming, if you stop typing in programming, that means something is broken. You don't want to save that. You don't want to save the broken files. So the answer is only possible answer here is the last one. Let a programmer choose whatever they want to save. Whatever they want to save, they're gonna save it. Right? So the answer is the last one.
Wouldn't I help?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Me too.
So I'm working on this problem.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you say that was bad?
And I'm sleepy. I'm hungry.
Because
My wife comes home.
it'll create too
I gotta pause.
too many saves, which the phone will
I'm gonna walk away for some period of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't I want to save it so that when I come back, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this is where I was.
That is also the good example for why we're choosing a last one. Let the programmer decide when they want to save. Yeah, the programmer can decide, I want to save it right now, I want to save it now, I want to save it like a few minutes later. They can decide like when I want to save it. Right, just give that option to them, they're going to decide it.
Let's look through
Yeah.
the options. This one is likely to save way more versions than you really need. But even if you're only actually saving when there's been a change over the course of the hour, you're likely to save at points that don't make a lot of sense. What if you're in the middle of typing a line? Your saved versions might not even compile, much less make sense as a logical checkpoint. This option does have the advantage that if you tend to be forgetful and not save often enough on your own, it can give you more fine-grained detail than you would have had, but otherwise there's not much reason to make this choice. Okay, let's look at this second one. This has some of the same problems as the above, and that you might get versions that aren't actually usable. Plus, if you write a critical 3-line change one day and then don't touch the code for a week, your change doesn't get recorded until after you've made some other unrelated changes. What about this third one? This one's a little bit more promising. You'll probably get some changes that have some kind of logical meaning from this strategy, but you might also get some not so meaningful ones that come up when you have to go run to catch your train or go have a nice dinner. Okay, so what about this fourth one? This has the potential downside of user error, not saving often enough or saving too often, but it also offers a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, so you allow the programmer to choose when do they want to save. If they are the good programmer, they're gonna save very often. So they're gonna save it very often. Every time they make something successfully, they're gonna save it. Some bad programs, they never save their files, and then they're just bad. You have to save your file frequently. Like every time your code comes to a stable point, everything's working, you want to save it. Every time you input some new features, some like for example, I'm creating an MC mode site. I just make a new features. Students can log in right now. I'm going to save it. I just create some page there. I'm going to save it. Oh, I'm sorry, there's a typo in the curriculum. I'm going to fix it. That's a really small thing, but still want to save it because I just fixed something. That's one thing, one commit, one thing, one save, one thing, one save. So if anything not working, I will easily just simply remove that feature and re-implement it. Right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah?
I don't know if this is going to where are we saving this? On the command or?
We're gonna say it soon. So we're gonna say it soon. We're gonna using Git to save it. Git is going to save it for us. Okay. We do not have to worry about where they are saved. The Git is gonna take care of that. Yeah, just like a Dropbox. When you save it, you actually have no idea where those histories they are. But when you try to check the history, they are always online. Just like the Google Doc. You never ask it for saving some changes, but they're gonna keep those histories for you. And the little bit difference for Git, you have to tell him when do you want to save it, but you do not have to worry about where they saved it, because they're gonna save it, and once you need it, you're gonna be able to find it. I'll tell you where to save it. All right, I'll tell you where to save it. Yeah, I haven't getting to that point yet.
Video that this course was going to involve a version control system called Git. You might be wondering how Git got its name. It was created in 2005 by Linus Torvalds. Git is British slang for something roughly equivalent to unpleasant person. Torvalds once said, "I'm an egotistical bastard, and I name all my projects after myself. First Linux, now Git." Git was designed with code in mind. It's not the only system built with that goal, though. One early, widely adopted version control system for code is called CVS, Concurrent Version Systems. Another system, SVN, also known as Subversion, is fairly similar, but improved on CVS to some extent. Another system you may have heard of is called Mercurial, abbreviated HG, the elemental symbol for Mercury. Mercurial has a lot in common with Git, and CVS and SVN are pretty similar, so to avoid cluttering up our chart, I'll just add SVN. And
so in here, he mentioned that there's more than one version control system for coding. Right now, the most popular one are Git, but there are some others like Mercurial, like SVN, SVS. Those are some others working similar to Git, but this is some slightly different. once you load Git, it will be much easier for you to load others, but actually you don't have to load others. Most of the companies are using Git right now. The company that I come from, they're not using the Mercurial, but it's just the syntax is much similar to the Git. You don't have to even learn it once you know the Git.
Okay. So what does the Git stand for again?
I forget it's something. Yeah.
Slang. This is British slang for unpleasant person.
Like for
Egotistical person.
I think he.
Egotistical.
I think he come up with this idea because he lost some of his files.
He lost all his files.
I think like say simply imagine like one he's unhappy because some files I lost. Okay, I'm gonna create something make me never lose my things.
I see.
Yeah. Yes.
Leave the others off. Let's go ahead and fill in the chart for our new engines. Alright, so which of these systems have the user manually saving versus auto-saving? Well, clearly manual saving requires you to manually save. Wikipedia also requires this. So does SVN. Dropbox and Google Docs, on the other hand, save versions for you whether or not you manually save. So what does Git do? Git takes the manual approach, allowing the user to choose when to create checkpoints. Well,
so here it's talking about like as we just said, we want the program to decide when do they want to save it, and Wikipedia and manual saving allows you to decide when you want to save a checkpoint. But like Dropbox and Google Docs, they don't. Like both Dropbox and Google Docs, they just save automatically. At some point, you don't even know what they're strategy.
Okay.
But this is not what we want for a programming or control system. So here is a yes no and which is better.
While it may seem like having changes saved automatically would be convenient or nice, Git's system makes it much more likely that each individual version will represent a logical change. We'll expand on why this is useful later, but intuitively, being able to view old versions is much more useful if each checkpoint is meaningful. In Git terminology, these user-created checkpoints are called commits. Commits are the basic building blocks of Git, each one representing a version of the content at one point in time. Git requires the user to supply a commit message each time a commit is created. This makes looking through old versions much more useful and pleasant than the Google Docs model, assuming that the user supplied a useful commit message. You'll actually get a chance to see what this looks like in Git soon with Caroline.
Alright, so in this one, hold on.
What was the one we just finished?
All commits are just messages.
Hold on. So in this one, he just introduced about there are different checkpoints. Like each checkpoint is a back working. It's a purpose working. And in the Git, we call it commits. Commit is just checkpoints, just some purpose working. So for example, if I just finish the one function, I gotta create a commit, create a checkpoint. Sometimes if I broke something, I come back. And if I'm adding a new feature, I just add in the curriculum, I create a commits, I create a checkpoint here. That is called commits. And for each commits, as he mentioned in the video, you will be able to leave some messages there for yourself. So in this checkpoint, what I did, that's going to be very helpful when the project is getting really big. Okay, like remember the Chrome one, they have 1,000 changes there. You cannot forget what I did in last changes, or a few days changes, back changes. Or think about if you're working in a team. Your teammates made some changes, and you are not sure about what they changed. It's really gonna, maybe they change a lot of stuff, a lot of files they changed. You don't want to go through everything by yourself. It's gonna waste the time. And if you just make a phone call to them, they maybe don't like it. Like maybe it's a big team, people are working on something and they're busy. So people are going to leave some messages here. Okay, in these changes, I just changing a typo in curriculum. I just allows users to log in, and then once you read that message, you will know, okay, this is what this commit does. Okay, so he mentioned that he made the website allows you to log in. I don't care about the changes. Let's try if the user can log in right now. If the user cannot log in,
we just are wrong.
No, I'm not gonna merge the changes to the current one. Just go back, check it, and fix it, and let's check it again. Right? So that's the messages is a way we communicate with each other. Also, the way you imagine yourself how to change in before. Alright, so we're gonna see how those messages looks like and how the commits looks like in the Git system. I'm not sure which one we are in right now. Let's just click next.
Just finished 10, so maybe 11.
Yeah, 11. So we haven't getting to the point to see how the Git looks like, how the commits looks like. He's just still trying to show us some graphic design. I mean, not design, just some ideas, trying to introduce us why do we want to using the Git, why are not using others. Is some help you to memorize it, help you to understand it. Right, just still some.
Throughout the course, Carolyn and I introduced a lot of new concepts and terminology. To help you keep track of everything, we'll build a map of these concepts, often asking you to think about how these ideas relate to one another and where the new ideas fit into the grand scheme of things. Let's get started by writing down a few of the things we've talked about already. The first and biggest concept we've introduced is version control. This refers to any system that allows for systematic versioning of content. That is, anything that makes it easy to create, store, and access different versions of the same documents, code, recipes, or whatever content you're working on. Here are some specific version control systems we've talked about. These are all types of version control, so we could draw lines between each of them and the version control node, and annotate the connections with labels like type of. But if we do that, our map will soon get cluttered with tiny annotations. Instead, let's use colors to indicate what type of relationship each connection has. We'll use this color of blue to mean type of. As you've probably gathered by now, the system we'll be focusing on is GIt. Though we will continue mentioning some of these others from time to time to contrast with GIt, using our comparison chart. The most recent concept we've come across is the git commit. This new concept is not directly related to version control. It connects through the GIt system. And if we drew lines between every second order connection, our map would quickly get out of hand. Some of these other systems also involve some similar concepts to commits, but they don't actually call them that, so we'll just keep it connected with GIt. Do you think that this should be the same kind of connection as the ones we already have? Remember that those were type of connections. Commits aren't a type of GIt, but rather a component. So the connection here should be a new color that indicates a part of connection. We'll use green for that, and we'll add the label here. Now, this time, I walked you through the process of adding items to the concept map to give you an idea of what we're doing with it. Later on, you'll be asked to decide how new items fit in for yourself. Now let's go to Caroline to find out how to view previous commits in GIt.
So, not much to explain here. Just saying everything here, type everything.
Throughout the course, Caroline and I introduced a lot of new concepts and terminology to help you keep track of it.
Thanks, Sarah.
Sorry.
Throughout the course, Caroline.
So what I mentioned here is everything here, this line, they are the type of version control. Menu saving is a way of version control. Dropbox is a type of version control. Wikipedia is a type of version control, and Git is a type of version control. And they are using the blue arrow to connect them. Means this is type of that. And here they're using the green arrow from connect from commit to Git. I mean, it is a ratio of about part. Means commit is a part of Git. So it's just saying that commit is one part of it. There's one technology you can use in the Git. Just checkpoints, right? There's some checkpoints. And in here, we are going to start using the Git to checking the history of some files.
Thanks, Sarah. Now, I'm here in the forest because everything I'm about to do can be done completely offline. I'm going to take a closer look at how Git works and how you can use it to view the history of a file. Specifically, I'll take a look at game.js, which contains the code from the asteroids game you saw earlier. Since I had been using Git to keep track of changes while writing this code, I can navigate to the directory where the code is saved and type git log. What I get is every commit that's ever been made, starting with the most recent. Notice how each commit has an ID, an author, a date, and a message associated with it. For now, I want you to focus on the commit message and the ID. The message explains what has changed since the last commit. And the ID is sort of like a serial number. It uniquely identifies each commit and lets you refer to it. I'll scroll a bit by pressing the down arrow so you can see the commits with the changes we discussed earlier. This commit is where I switched the control keys to use space for movement instead of up arrow. This one is where I fixed the typo. And this one is where I reverted the controls back to the way they were before since I didn't like the new controls. Scrolling back up to see the more recent commits, you can see some commits by Doug doing things like making an iPad version of the game. And there's also a commit by me adding some color into the game to make it look more interesting. I can check what changes a commit introduced by using the git diff command. Git diff is similar to the fc or diff program you used earlier, but instead of just comparing two files, it can compare different versions of a file within Git. Right now, I'm going to use git diff to see the difference between these two commits. So first I'll copy the first commit ID that I want, and then I'll copy the second, and paste them both into my command here. When I hit enter, I see the changes made between the two commits. If you're using a Mac or Linux, this output looks very similar to the diff output earlier. All you need to notice in these lines is that we're comparing two versions of the file game.js. And here's the actual diff. You'll notice that Git supports the nice feature of colorized diffs, so the black lines didn't change, the red lines with the minus sign were removed, meaning they only existed in the first version, and the green lines with the plus sign were added, meaning they only existed in the second version. These changes should look familiar since they're the same changes you looked at before. Here's the typo you found.
Another question?
A commit, is it, that's just another way of saying you change.
It's like a comment, a message that you left saying what you did to that change.
Commits are checkpoints.
Yeah, commits are checkpoints. Yeah, commits are different versions. Each commit is just its own version.
Yes, so when you're saving, then that'll be one commit.
Yeah, every time you save, it's going to a commit. It's going to be a checkpoint. That means at some point you can come back here. That is a commit is just a version, a previous version. I mean, it's not a, it's just a checkpoint. You know what is checkpoint, right? I want to check it here. I want to save this for you. And while I keep coding, the checkpoint is going to existing there forever. Whenever I want, I will come back to the check. I can come back to the checkpoint at any time I want.
A commit is a checkpoint.
Yeah.
And that gets established by the programmer?
Yeah, that's as a programmer you are able to choose when do you want to create a checkpoint. When do you want to create a commit?
So the commit, the checkpoint, doesn't necessarily indicate change.
When you're doing, you know how you save a file?
Right.
And every time you save a file, it's a different date, right? So what if you worked on a file on Friday and then you made some changes on the next day, right? So you save one file for one day and another. That second file is a commit. It's just a version of it. The whole thing that he's saying that it's saying.
A commit is just a new version for the.
You're just cutting off and saying this is the first version, and then the next time you commit is a second version. The next time you commit, but it's all the same file. It's showing you. Then you can, when you show the commit list, the log, then you can compare the two to see what changes actually happen. The messages that you see on the commit is just to let anybody know what actual changes instead of going all through the log.
Line by line.
Yeah.
So think about it like everyone has your phone. Like there's an option in your phone like restore it to the industry point, industry setting.
Right.
That industry setting, it is a checking point that those companies created. If something is wrong, you can always go back to that checkpoint. That is kind of like a commit.
Okay.
So like you had a virus or something and you just started a computer from the beginning.
Same thing for a computer. You can always go back to reset the computer to go back to the original beginning, original checkpoint.
Right.
And the programmer you can create more than one checkpoint. Like the original one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one. You can decide. Okay, today I want to go back to the second one. I want to go back to the third one. I want to go back to the original one. That is a commit and checkpoint.
So this is useful when we start like working in groups.
Yeah, it's also useful for yourself. Yeah, think about like you Friday, you add some changes, and you just create a checkpoint because everything is working. I create checkpoints here. I want to save this for you because everything is working. Then on Saturday, you adding something new, and you touched like a lot of things. Like I changed the line 5, I changed line 6, I changed line 100, line 200, and I try to run my code. Boom, it's not working. And you don't know how to change it back. What I changed, I forget to change a lot of stuff. And then you can use Git to comparing the old version, the version on the Friday, and this current version. So what I changed. And also you will be able to just directly restore your whole file to the Friday's version. Right? Just checkpoints are commits.
So the message that you put in on the commit, does that put that in the bottom of the
we're gonna learn how to create commits. Okay. Right now you just need to know like you are able to create commits, and here it's trying to show how can you see all the checkpoints, how can you see all the commits created by the programmer. Later we're gonna teach you how to create a new commits by yourself. Right? How can we create a checkpoint? Right. So in this video, he talked about like he showed us she's using the Git as a version control, and she created a lot of commits here, and she's able to see what she changed between two commits, like between this version on the March 24th and this version also on the March 24th. There's a different time. Okay, compared to two versions, what did she change it, right? So later, well, she's going to ask us to download her file and to see if we can do the same thing she just does, right? Let's come to the next section about quiz. There's no video here. Actually, maybe there is. Now, start quiz. Oh, I think. What is this one? Remember that we're trying to avoid cluttering of our map, so try to only end relationships that would not be implemented. We're using for the GIt. Yeah. So he's trying to ask. So we just introduced one technology. It's called GIt, right? We already use the diff, which allows us to compare two files, and the GIt allows us to comparing same file, but it's a different checkpoints. You can use git diff. There's another command called git diff, allows you to comparing one file, the same file, different checkpoints. You can comparing the version on Friday and the version on Saturday.
So how's that different from diff? How's diff?
Diff you can only like a git diff. You can put two commit IDs here, two checkpoint ID to compare the two versions. But remember, when we use diff, there's no commits here. There are just two files. One is called game new, another one is called game old. But in the real world, in your real coding, you only have one file. You won't have like a file Friday, file Saturday. Just one file, but different versions listed there. You can directly use git diff to compare the versions instead of creating two to compare it. Right? So in here, he's asking us if we want to put git diff on this map, and where should we put it? Yeah, so git diff. So there's options. It says, should we connect git diff with commit? Should we connect git diff with Google Doc?
It goes
with Git or with version control?
It goes commit. It goes commit and git.
So
Which one is the direct control?
So git diff itself, it won't connect. So let's look in from bottom to top. So first thing, should we connect git diff with version control? No, because the reason is like if you see the map here, we only connect different type of version control with version control, right? Like for example, manual saving is a version control, drop-off is a type of version control, Google Doc is a type of version control. Git diff itself by itself, it is not a version control system. It's just part of Git, right? So we're not gonna connect it with the version control directly. And same thing for Git. Git diff, it is part of Git, but it's just not working directly with the Git. It's working with some commits. You can use git diff to compare different commits, but you cannot using git diff to compare to Git. It's kind of like a little confusing, but don't worry about that. Just remember, git diff is used to compare. They're gonna say it too again. It's you're using git diff to comparing two commits, compare two checkpoints. And you do not using that to compare two different Git files or two different like systems. So it's not gonna connect with Git. It's gonna connect with actually the first one, git commit, right? It's using git diff only to compare different commits, to compare different versions, different checkpoints, right? Obviously, we're not gonna choose in Google Doc. There's no relationship between Google Doc and commits, right? So let's keep going.
All right, so where should we add diff? Diff is clearly related to both git and commit, and also to version control, more indirectly. But like we said, we don't want to add all these second-order connections, so let's just connect it with commit. The relationship between diff and commit isn't really type of or part of, so we'll need a new color for it. Since diff takes two commits and compares them, we're going to call this the operates on relationship.
Yeah. So you only need the diff, git diff, to working with commits. If there's no commits, you can never using the git diff. So that's also the reason why you will connect git if to the commits, because it can only working with that, right? That's actually not that important. Let's keep going. Let's see, what is this one? So in this one, it's talk about when should we create a checkpoint? Should we just create checkpoints every day? Should we create checkpoints every 50 lines we wrote? Or should we create checkpoints every new features we added? So basically the idea is we create checkpoints every thing we did. We did one thing or one checkpoint. Or another thing or checkpoints. When we finish one thing or when we get into a stable point. Some point like the coding is functional. Everything is working, I want to create checkpoints here. So sometimes I can come back here. Right? That's really the basic idea. So let's say start quiz here. Right? So here they provide some examples, asking you, is this a good example to create? Is this a good time to create checkpoints or not? Is that too big or too small or something? So the first one is asking you, is that a good time to create a commit if you commit all the changes required to add to a new feature, which you've been working for a week. You haven't committed since you started working on that.
That's too big.
That means, of course, it's too big. Even though it's just one feature, but inside that feature, you may come to so many different checking points, because I added one object inside it, I fixed one typo inside it, and maybe added a new file inside it. All those things can be checkpoints. Do not have to wait to completely finish the whole features, because the whole features may take you too long to do it. What if like doing that week, you just power shut down, it completely broken, they just lost all the changes. So that is too big in one commit. We're gonna create multiple commits during that process.
Much more checkpoints.
Right. Another thing, you find 3 typos in your README file. Just one file name, README. You fix and commit the first. That is too small. If he said you fix all 3 and commit, that is good thing, because all 3 of them just typo, and you fix all of them and commit it. So maybe take you 5 minutes, and maybe and also you only touch the one file, and all of them are already 2 typos. That is one thing. So you can just fix all 3 and commit it. But he said you fix and commit the first, and then you fix and commit the second. And if there's like 1,000 typos, and you're gonna commit 1,000 times. And then when your teammates come, you're gonna say, "Whoa, we did a lot of things." But then when they check it in detail, like every commit is just one word. That's gonna be like say the history. How long the history gonna be? It's a really long history, and make it even harder for you.
So if there's only one type of change, they're not gonna be one commit. And if there's a different type of change, I believe.
Yeah. So one idea is trying to we make one kind of change, we finish that change, we commit it. But if that is really big changes, like for example, you just try to implement the new features, think about try to commit during that process. Like say if you come up with you just create a new file, that new file maybe it's not doing anything, but it doesn't break anything. Maybe try to commit it, because you maybe that you're gonna spend about 1 week or 2 weeks to finish that whole feature. You do not want to wait that too long. So make sure everything's working. Just save a checkpoint here. Doesn't really matter if you have something extra, not even related to your project.
No, I'm just saying like if there's like a typo, right? And then there's 3 lines that has a typo of the same word. Then I would be one commit.
Yep, one commit.
But then if there's like you're doing a typo and you're doing like changing colors or something, that would be 2 different commits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 2 things. Because maybe, so think about there's a typo, you fix that typo, and then there is another task asks you to change the color of this word. And so if you make the typo and change color into the same commit, maybe tomorrow your boss come here and tell you, okay, we want to change the color back. I don't want it to be blue. I want it to change back to the red. And you said, okay, I can just restore the changes that I did yesterday. You restore it. You also restore the typo.
I see. Right.
And maybe you forget it, and the typo come out, and the boss won't be happy. Right? And even you realize you just restore the typo, you have to manually fix it again. That's extra work. And we don't want extra work.
But didn't she on the video? I don't know if she did it before. She did like the revert control, so that I was able to revert back to the last version.
Yeah.
That's part of the commit. right?
Yeah, like he can just say to reverse the control two ways. One way just manually change the control she makes back to the previous one, or she can just restore the version to the previous one. But once she restores, she's still going to create a new commit for that, because she wants to say, okay, I changed something and I restore it back. So her teammate, like the one she mentioned as Bob, that guy knows she makes some changes and she changes it back. So I just want to keep keep everything in log. So
Yes,
once something is like after a few days, we're gonna make sure everything is what's going on in the project, right? So yeah, also the reason you don't want like this one you do not want to make commits for every typo you change. For example, if you just I fix the first word, and here I fix the U, I create a commit and say fix U in readme, and then fix 5 in readme, and the next one fix 3 in readme. Then the log will be so long and pointless. If you want to restore it, you will never restore in the middle of those fixing. Either to the previous one everything is not fixed, or to the next one everything is fixed. Right? The point is to keep in control, like to keeping the versions like between the fixing.
So when you do the messages on commit, you just say, I did typo line 3, 6, 9.
It depends on the company requirement, or if you are working on your own, it depends on yourself. You can just say fix some typos in the readme file. You do not have to really say like what typos you fixed, because by saying that, it doesn't matter. Because think about it. With that, you know, the everything I touched, all the typos are in readme, and they are all typos. If I'm interested in what typos you fixed, git diff, checking the readme file, and you'll see, okay, this is removed, this is end, this one is fixed, this one is not. Everything is visible in the git diff. So you do not have to be too specific in the messages. Just mention what files you touched, and maybe just mention what features are in or what things you did. Just do not have to be too specific in which line of code I changed. Yeah. And the third one, you commit all the changes required to any new feature which you've been working on for an hour. That is just right, because that is a new feature. You just finish that feature and come to a working version. Everything is working. You add a new feature, and you didn't work in for a week, just for an hour. That is a really good point to check it. Right, that makes sense. And okay, so the last one here, you fix 2 small bugs in different functions and commit them both at once. That is 2 small bugs. Even they are small, but they are 2 different things. One thing maybe change the color, another thing maybe change the font size, and they are 2 different things. Like if you were trying to restore it in the future, you can restore. The only choice for you is going to be restore both of them back to the version, or keep the same one and then manually fix something. So we want to keep them into different versions.
It don't make sense to commit 2 things at once. Because then if you commit 2 things at once, you go to restore or work on them, you have to do them both at the same time.
Yeah. So we want to keep like one task for one commit. Otherwise, when we're trying to restore, we cannot separate them. We have to manually change something. We just want to do this. Alright?
So now, when I go into diff, I've made some changes, and I'm not happy with them, or they're not working, whatever. Say I put 100 things in one commit, and I know that 99 were typos, and 1 I said shut the lights off at 9 o'clock at night. That's wrong. When I go into diff, can I see that one thing and just change that one thing?
No, you cannot. You can. Diff is only showing you what's the difference, but you cannot directly change it. The only thing for you is that you can restore to the point if you never change anything, or you go back or keep your current changes and manually change something.
So this was just it said that readme files.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Readme is a change between.
Yeah. Well, you can have one commit saying fix 100 typos in the readme or in this file. It's fine. Just keep them in one file. Because there's no point to break into which typos you fix. Even though you made some new mistakes, we're just going to keep working on such things. We're not going to go back to the previous version. It's kind of like a waste of time to check all the history.
Because I messed up 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So but if you ending fix typo and change light closing time together, And then once when your boss asks you to change it back, you're going to go through the whole changing history, make sure what was the time before this. You're gonna go through checking difference and looking for, okay, across all the typos here, where is the line for the lifetime? I can looking for that. It's gonna be annoying.
Right.
So the two
I see you.
things. Mm-hmm.
I see you.
Yep. All right. So yep. Let's submit the answer. And where is my mouse? Here. Okay. Continue. And I believe he's going to start a new video. Actually not. He just some explanation here. Basically just what I just talked. Let's just keep going.
Can I take a break?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead, take a break.
I'm just gonna sit here and close my eyes. Tired. My brain tired. I didn't sleep all the throw like 3 times last night. Take a piss.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Sorry for asking so many questions.
No, it's fine. Because if you have question, maybe I will also have the same question.
Okay. Because for me, I think about it as the computer, but the day-to-day, and then trying to translate that into coding, and trying to keep them separated.
I need some money.
Stop recording.